lambs gathered from out in the camp, and they shut them all up in a pen. A tough breed of people that live on this land, working long hours.
As you might have guessed, we're at the JZ70. A while back, you guys asked for a video in more detail with the JZ70. So we're going to walk around and I'm going to tell you what I know and the experience I've had with it, and then you guys can be your own judgment on it. So first things first, it is a 7.2 ton, I think it is, or 7.6 ton digger. It is, we can go up here and look at it, 7.6 ton, there you go. It is a lovely little digger. Rubber tracks are quite good if you're not on rock and road material, and it doesn't damage the ground as much. But if you are out in the soft and ditching like I was, they don't give you much grip. But you can get wider tracks, so these are 450, I think they are wide, and you can get 600s, I think it is, steel tracks. Anyways, it's powered by an Isuzu common engine. Is your oil dipstick, radiator, cap up there. This is, I think it's got about 7,000 hours, 7,500 hours, or is it 8,000 hours on it? We'll have a look in a bit. The throttle on this is done via a hydraulic, electronically governed thing. This one does play up sometimes unless it's warm. You've got your fuel shut-off solenoid. If, for example, this ever plays up, you can do that. So when we used to use it in government, this actually packed up, and you used to have to come in and shut it down manually. This is for your windscreen washers. So when you're giving this a service, one of your filters, which is a Prixie filter, I think it's called, is actually down in there. That's it there. To do it, you have to take this cover off. Trust me, it's so much easier. There's little valves in there, you can shut it. Make sure you check your oils and waters. Check it. If you pull your dipstick out, you'll notice there's nothing on it. And you'll be like, oh no! It must thingy, so if you just let it settle for 2 seconds, put it back in, then pull it out, you'll have oil on it. This is due a service as well as a oil change, but we are not, there you go, we are not going to worry about the oil just yet, because I've just got to move a couple of things and then we're going to be looking at it all. For your hydraulic oil level, you've got your hydraulic oil level right here. It does state how to have the boom folded like so to make sure it's all correct. This filter here, I think, is for your controls. I think it is. I think that one's for your controls. I didn't get this filter for some strange reason, so when I ordered the service kit. This is a 24 volt system. In there is your electronic isolator switch, so after 30 seconds of shutting the machine off, it will isolate itself. In here is your coolant for the overflow for your radiator or drawer. As you can see, I have got to clean this out. There is a screen that you can take out, but this one's stuck, so I've got to free it up. So we've got to do a bit of maintenance to it. Air filter, pretty planetary, really. We also had to put a brand new alternator on it. The one thing I did notice is that the fan belt, the new fan belt we got for it, even with it fully adjusted, it only is just tight enough. It's not really what I would say. I don't know how to give you a view in there. Super tight. So if you're starting it up and you've got a load on it, so like if you've got your lights on, she will squeal a bit. So pay to not have them on. There's the cats running around. You got your exhaust silencer, exhaust. That filter down in there behind the boom, that is for your pecker. So pecker controls. So unless you're using your pecker a horrendous amount, or your auxiliaries, you shouldn't have to change that one too much. Your other filter is in there. You take that off and it pops in at the bottom, and you've got a filter in there that you have to take out as well. Or it's either in there. One of those caps takes out. I'm pretty sure it's that one. Then you've got your fuel tank, which is plastic. To tension your tracks, if you have track problems, you have a hydraulic fitting right in there, and it's not going to come up. There you go. So that fitting there is what you grease it up with, and it tensions the track. I seem to have a problem on one side where it keeps slackening, so we've got issues there. We also have a bit of play in these bits here. So the plan is when we get this little strip. We'll put new tracks on eventually. We're going to see if we can build that up with weld. This is your blade. Make sure you grease up your points. So basically any moving part on a machine should have a grease nipple, theoretically speaking. We did have one machine that doesn't have a moving part. We had to replace these hoses here because they were, one of them was weeping, and we had one bus for the blade that feeds down through there and it goes right around to the back. So we got these made up so they didn't bust. The one thing I would like to get is all the new steel pipes for it, because these are in quite a poor state of repair. In fact, I don't even know how long they would last. So the plan is when we get it in the shed, sand it down and paint them up and do everything. The buckets on this isn't actually a JZ70 bucket. These are 45mm pin, and I think the JZ70 takes she takes that size pin, which I think is a 55 or 50mm. So this has got a custom built quick hitch on it that government had, which takes a 3CX JCB bucket, which is handy for me because pretty much that's what I always had, was JCB 3CX buckets. So this is a hook that I made up just for dragging stuff around, not OSHA approved. We have a leak and seal here, and I'd say this has been off before because that grease fitting is up the wrong way. We have got new seals to put in here, but I can't get the ram apart, so I've got to take it to town. We also got to get the bushes changed in those bits there, new pins. But other than that, she's pretty good. She doesn't have too many majority of leaks. We did have to take the hydraulic tank out of here, and to take the hydraulic tank out, we had to disconnect all the hoses in around behind there and take this cover off, I think it was. And then underneath there is a plate. So under here, we had to take that plate off, undo the main suction hose, and then lift the tank up through. There's 4 bolts to hold the tank in. We had a split in the tank, quite a common fault with machinery, especially the hydraulic tank side. So, someone asked me in a video, could I do a more in-depth video on the JZ70? It's pretty much planetary. I did have a book for it. I had to make me one up, please, on a 3D printer. So, plan is, thinking about it, we're going to fit that probably down there so I can have a drink when I'm operating. So I do spend quite a bit of time on this machine. So, for me, I can explain a few things before you. These are your lights. You got your main lights. So you got your cab lights and then boom lights. You got your wipers, and then if you push it again, you got your water. You got your amber light on the top, beacon. This is your slew lock, so you can lock the slew. Don't really use it that much, but the one time I did use it is we were lifting stuff up to a building, and while they were unloading it, just to make things safe, I'd hit those 2 things. And the reason why I did that was because it was just that if I knocked any of this and had that lever down, it was no chance of happening. I'm not really sure what these ones do, because I've got 2 of them on this side, well, one on this side, and if you PECA controls, this is it here. So switch it one way, and I think you get only one-way flow. Switch it 2 ways, and you can do 2 ways. I think that's how it works. And they run off this system here. I'm pretty sure of it. And then you got some there, but I don't know if they actually do anything. This is your revs up and down, but we'll sort that out afterwards. This is a hook, so I think if you've got a hook on the end, it makes sure that you don't overload it. I'm not really 100% sure. This is meant to have a hydraulic quick connect on it. It's even got the hoses, or a hose. That hose there actually goes right down to the end, and there's something to do with the hydraulic quick hitch. I got a JCB quick hitch set up there. I got that big coupler thing there, yet it has a manual one. So yeah, but it works. So we turn the key on, let your computer do something. Yes, it's got not quite 7,500 miles. We had to change a fuel sensor in it because it wasn't working right. And we changed a few other things, like we put a new wiper arm on. It's got a new wiper arm, new wiper blade. And the only thing we couldn't get was a motor. But you'll find if the motor stops working, if you take it apart gently, it's normally just the shaft that seizes in there. So for this, it's pretty planetary. If you've used a JCB, most JCBs have these controls in them. You hold the key over and it'll give you preheat, so you just hold it over like that if you need it. Some machines don't need it. And if not, you just turn her over and she'll start like so. This hasn't been started for the last day and a bit. So it'll now say it's doing a warm-up. Just say auto warm. It'll flash up with auto warm. There you go. This digger is really, really gutless if you try to do anything before it's really warmed up. In fact, like, there's no point really doing it. So while that's warming up, we'll keep going through a few other little things. These levers here is obviously your tracks. Then you got your blade. Then you got hydraulic controls for your boom, which if you're operating a digger and you don't know how to use it, just practice. The best way I tell people. He'd never used a digger before, and I took him to a burr pit and I told him to sit in it and play around with it, because it was pointless me showing him how to do things with the levers and then suddenly have to try and teach him how to dig a bucket. So I thought the best way to learn is go out in a burr pit and have a play around. He can't really do no harm in a burr pit. He wasn't on a pile or anything, so he played around and he got a feel for the machine. So now he knows how to use it. He's not the best operator, he's only just started time, but now he's used one quite a bit. He quite likes it, so it's as simple as that. There's not really much else to say about this digger, other than it is really nice. It's got a nice heater. The radio doesn't work, so there's a radio down there that sometimes it will turn itself on, sometimes it won't. I could even give you the temperature. It is 4 degrees. 4 Celsius, that is, outside. So it's not that cold. But yeah, so when I was ditching for a neighbouring farmer, I had problems with the rollers. You can still buy all the rollers. You can buy all the sprockets. You can buy the tracks. You can pretty much buy all the seals. The one thing we couldn't get was the wiper thing. We can buy, so you'll notice up there's a crack in the thing, which we're going to whack some silicone in later on. You can still buy that top window piece. And yeah, these lights aren't that old. I bought them off Amazon, I think it was, or eBay. And quite disappointingly, they're not actually all that good. They're already corroding, so yeah, a bit sad on that one. But other than that, she's not actually too bad. She's got surface rust on her, obviously, but hopefully we'll get her all painted up. If you do have any specific questions that you want to know on what to use it for, then by all means let me know and I will help out with it. If you've watched my videos, you will see here in the past I do drag this behind my 7610, and it is way too heavy to drag behind 7610. This is about 7.6 ton. I don't know if that's with the bucket or not on. The trailer weighs about 3 ton. So I'm taking 7, 8, 9, 10, around 10 ton, which I always say to people. I have a full set of 10 series weights on the front of my 7610, front wheels filled with water, and a full set of wheel weights on the back, plus dual wheels to add extra weight and grip. Don't do it. It's really hard on the machine. It takes me, you're driving a vehicle in about 15 minutes. It takes me like 2 hours, 2.5 hours to go one way with the digger. So, and we do have a lot of hills and whatnot. So, but yeah, there you go. It is what it is. I don't know what else I can really tell you about it, other than it's a lovely little machine. It's smooth. I just like operating it. It's nice. We've got to do a little bit of TLC to it. It's had quite a bit of use. We want to get a new bucket for it. This quick hitch is wearing out. So in these pins here are all worn. We were thinking about welding them up and seeing if we could bore them out somehow. If not, we will contemplate on seeing if we can buy an actual quick hitch and then get another digging bucket for it. Because I can always keep this one with the pins in it. If I got a JZ70 buckets quick hitch, then I could theoretically just keep this, have it so you pop this on the other quick hitch for using those little 6-inch trenching buckets. But yeah, I don't know, we'll see. Hopefully the work for this digger will slowly settle down. We have got to fix this bucket because it's done a lot of digging. It's got a hole in down there and it is worn out a little bit, and they somehow, for some strange reason, welded the teeth on it, so it makes life even easier. But yeah, she's a nice little machine. If you see up there, that is not a Starlink dish, that is a OneWeb dish. We're testing it for our local telecommunications company. It's running at about 27 download speed, megabytes per second download speed, and about 2.7 to 3 upload. think what it was. So yeah, it's not the quickest, but it's is what it is. Everyone has their different views with Starlink and OneWeb and our local company. Some people say they could do more, some people say they can do less. Couldn't do any less, sorry. Starlink, people's got their own views on that, and just, yeah, it's a hit and a miss either way. So we thought we'd try this one out. We haven't got Starlink. Don't know if I want to get Starlink for personal reasons. Don't know if I want to put all my eggs in one basket, as the saying goes. So yeah, we just have to see. Not saying I won't, not saying I will, you know. We just financially, we've just got to wait and see what happens on that front. At the moment we use a FMA or YMA system that goes up to the mountaintop and then pings around. I don't know, this is all satellite, so see how it goes. But yeah, back to the JZ. It's not a bad little dinky little machine. So when you get into here, if you push that button here, this will kill the revs, so it'll say low idle, and then you can do that. So if you've got a truck coming, you loaded them up, and then you've sent them away, and while you wait for the next one, instead of having it running at full revs and having to twist this knob here, you can literally just push that button and she'll idle down for you. So yeah, it's not a bad little machine. So I recommend, this is probably the size that you'd want on a small holdings or a ranch. Ideally, we had a 3.5 ton digger, that Chifferton, and I couldn't fault that little digger either. She done a lot of work. She dug all the rock out for this place. So when you look at it like that was not a bad little job. So hey ho. But there's Milky Way. She was caught on the farm. Gizmo was gifted to us by my sister. And Skittles, well, I don't actually know where Skittles is. We call him a grumpy granddad because he doesn't really like these two little monkeys that much. But so I hope you enjoyed the video. If you've got any detailed questions you want to know on, let me know. When we do start doing work on things, if we do get OneWeb in the future or Starlink, we do plan on doing longer videos. So yeah, stay tuned.